Number one, first big difference between the Galaxy Watch FE and the Galaxy Watch 7 is going to be the screen size. Now, these are both 40 millimeters. However, the screen on the Watch FE is 1.2 inches, whereas the screen on the Watch 7 is 1.3 inches. And to really see the difference, I'm going to put the same watch face on both so you can see how it's slightly different. Now, you'll notice that the bezel is actually smaller on the Watch 7, whereas on the FE, the bezel is much thicker. So it's 0.1 inch difference, which doesn't seem like a lot, but because I've tested both thoroughly, I can notice the difference in the screen sizes. So anyway, that's the first big difference, is the screen size. Number two, the speed of the watches is slightly different. So on the Watch FE, it has 1.5 gigs of RAM and it has a dual core processor. On the Watch 7, it has 2 gigs of RAM and it has a pentacore processor. So it's slightly faster. And so I'm just going to show you, for example, when I swipe up, you'll see that there's a little bit more of a delay on the FE than there is on the Watch 7. And I noticed this in testing, that the Watch 7 is definitely snappier, it's quicker. It's always just a bit of a delay whenever I do anything on the Watch FE. So speed is a slight difference for the Watch 7. Number three is going to be the internal storage. So Watch FE has 16 gigs of total storage, and of that 16, you get to use 7.6 gigs. On the Watch 7, it has 32 gigs of internal storage, and you're able to use 21.1 gigs of that 32. So you have a bit more storage to be able to store different things on the watch, for example, music. Number four is going to be the battery. The Watch FE has a 247 milliamp battery. The Watch 7 has a 425 milliamp battery. So you've got double the size of the battery here for a little bit more lifespan. And finally, number five is going to be AI. So the Watch 7 has AI built in, whereas the FE does not. And where you would use that AI is in, for example, responding to text messages. When a text comes through, the Watch 7 will actually give you AI responses that you can select from, whereas there are none of those AI features built in on the Watch FE. Okay, so that covers the big differences in these two watches. Now, I want to go over the similarities because there's a lot that these watches have in common. So I just want to go over that real quick before we end the video. Number one, they both have a Super AMOLED display. Number two, they both have Samsung Pay built in as well. So you can add your credit card and you can pay using the watch because they both have NFC. Number three, they all have Wi-Fi built in, and they offer an LTE variant as well. So you can connect it with your carrier and you can get your mobile service sent right to the watch. And the reason you'd want to use that is because if your phone isn't with you, you can have your calls go right to the watch and answer the phone, answer your text messages. Maybe you want to go for a run and you don't want to take your phone. You'll have full access to calls and texts right from your watch. Number four, they both use the same band type. So when I tested the FE, I actually took this band off and put it on here. So you will be able to use any bands that work for the Watch 7 will also work for the Watch FE. Next, they both have sleep tracking. They're both going to have automatic workout tracking. So if you're working out for more than 10 minutes, it will automatically begin to track the workout, and it basically will track right from the moment that you started. So they both have that. They both have heart rate tracking. They both have the always on display option, and they both use an eSIM for the LTE when you have the LTE variant. So now that brings us to the end of our run through of both watches. I hope you guys found this helpful. I did test both watches for a couple of weeks, and overall they're both great options. I do like the Watch 7 slightly better because there's just a bit more in terms of the features. Now keep in mind, I covered the big differences in these watches, but there are more differences than what I covered. But I wanted to cover what I thought were the biggest differences, that what I think would sway your decision in terms of picking one over the other. I will have links in the description of where you can buy each watch. One quick recommendation: if you're trying to trade in an older watch or fitness tracker, use Samsung.com because they're going to give you credit that you can use as a trade-in for upgrading, whereas on Amazon you can't really get the same auto trade-in credit. So that's one benefit for Samsung. If you don't have a trade-in, go through Amazon, because Amazon, I've noticed, has been slightly cheaper for both watches. So I'll have links below on all the different watches for Amazon and Samsung, and you can pick which one works better for your situation. If you found value in this video, please hit that like button down below. I also have a new link in my description called Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. If you want to show additional support, you can always hit that link and you can buy me a cup of coffee as a way of showing support for the channel. We appreciate you. I will also have links here and here of my playlist that will have all my other videos on the Watch FE and on the Watch 7. I have tips and tricks videos for both and a bunch of other really helpful videos, so make sure you check those out as well. Thanks again for watching. Take care, and as always, have a good one.